Hi, it's Enrique with Canine Perspective. We have Pepper here, a daycare and train. This is going to be an overview video of a Pepper knows. So Pepper knows heel, the heel turns, the auto sits, or just to put it simpler, heel, stay, down, sit, emergency sits, emergency downs, and then recall. So we're going to be covering that, each command, starting with the heel command. Right now, our number is like 16, with a very not really like high energy like level environments. A lot of dogs here, but they're just pretty much chilling. So yeah, we're going to be using the stimulant, the black button, which is like the NIC, the momentary button on the Educator ET400. And I've got the prong on, but I'm going to be doing my best to not use a prong. Obviously, we want the E-cud to do all the work. Prong is on top, E-cud's at the bottom. So for the heel command, it's going to be heel and then left leg. So heel and then left leg. And the heel command is when Pepper walks with me, she'll walk with me, stay with me, and then sit when I stop. So right now, I'm going to show you how we would stop. So I slow down, slow my speed, and then I stop. And then she's supposed to auto sit, and then she's at this point where I can just give her a tap, and then she sits. So that was good to see, because before, when she was learning, we would have to do the up and tap for teaching them. Now, if she doesn't sit, we just continue. We just correct that with the e-car, or just a tap. So again, her right shoulder should be along with my left leg. If that right shoulder passes, I'm going to do an immediate tap and turn. So I'm going to tap and then make a 180 to my right until I see that she is locked in on the position. If she forges, I tap to speed her up. If she goes to my right side, I pull left and tap. And then if she like starts to kind of drift away, I can give a tap and she'll tighten in. And then for the break command, it's just, you cue your word, okay, break. We've been using break, and then she can do whatever she wants. So that's pretty much like what the heel is. And then for the turns, for the left turns, we're going to be leading with the right leg, and it's going to be very sharp, like right, left, right. I'm going to show how that looks a few times. Heel. So I have speed right. I have this certain speed, so I slow down. She's paying attention. I perceive the turn. Right, left, right. I slow down. Right, left, right. I slow down again. Right, left, right. Good. I slow down. Right, left, right. And now I'm going to slow to a stop. Good. So those left turns, slowing down, then turning. Leading with the right knee. If you find that you're doing these turns and you keep bumping into Pepper's shoulder, you're either not slowing down or you're slowing down and she's not paying attention. If you slow down and you know she doesn't slow down with you, I wouldn't proceed with the turn. You should just do the tap and turn, the 180. So if I'm walking a certain pace for a long time, and then I slow down, but Pepper is still going, then it's just correctional turn. Forget about whatever turn, stop, whatever you're going to do, because that needs to be corrected. If I'm walking a certain pace and I don't slow down and I just turn, the same thing will happen. You're just going to run into Pepper's shoulder, stomach area, then it's just going to be a messy turn. So that's the left turn. We'll do right turns, which is the extending the left leg and back on the right, and then back on the left. So heel, left leg, So again, slow down, left leg, right leg, left leg. I slow down, left leg. You see this, how she's turning with me already? If we've done this so many times, left, right, left, that she can read like she can see my body turning. I slow to a stop. Good girl. So she's starting to curve already when she sees that turn or that curve of my torso. Again, if you slow down, she's not slowing down with you. I wouldn't take your time with that correctional turn. It just ends up being a tap and just keep walking the opposite way. So those are the turns. Practicing heel, would just be those exercises. Do like five left turns, 5 right turns, 5 auto sits, and then a few breaks here and there. But yeah. So now we're going to be going over the place command. Pepper's still in the heel, by the way. Good girl. So place command cannot hop off the object. This is a lifted dog bath, so it's very clear for us and for Pepper to see what is off limits and what is, like the safe spot. Pepper can lay down, sit down, stand, chew in a bone, whatever. She just can't hop off. So like once we give the cue place, she goes there, can't move, can't hop off until given the break command. If Pepper does chew, we haven't seen it here, chew on the side of the bed and we correct it, there might be a chance Pepper might hop off, and we just need to clarify that that it wasn't the placement that we tapped you for, it was the chewing on the placement. So Pepper has done duration here on these placements for like a few hours already. So she's pretty good with that. So right now she's at the point where she's very comfortable with place. So if I cue the word place, there's no taps or anything, she just shoots there. And then the practice your duration, or like if she's gonna stay on, you can do a little walk around. And I don't really care if she's standing right now. She doesn't stand for a long time on the placements if we're gonna be doing duration work. She kind of just, she knows, it's a place to relax and she doesn't need to be tense or anything. If she were to get up, I'd stop and I'd tap until she goes back. If she's struggling, I would use a leash to guide her back. So when you're practicing this command, you can, use a yoga mat, couch, her bed, or you can get one of these. Here, when we're practicing it, we have columns, and then we have these beds, and then tethers. So we tether Pepper here, but we give her enough leash to hop off, just so we can correct it. And then it helps them, learn as well, correct the mistakes. So if you like, at home, if you have a place where you can tether Pepper, something sturdy, that can work as well. If you don't and you have like a little blanket she can lay on, you can, put that blanket next to you, cue the word. You want to practice first, so you would want to start close, drilling up the exercise, and then start increasing your distance. But then if you have that blanket, and then you can just cue her there, cue the word place, she goes to place, step on the leash, sit down on the couch, watch a movie. So yeah, I'm gonna do this a few more times. Break. Well, those are some ways to practice, and those are other ways that we practice as well. Place. So if she doesn't go there, I give a tap. There we go. Break. Place. Good girl. So there she didn't, the time before that one, break. She didn't want to, or she didn't want to go. So then I gave a tap. I didn't use any leash. First response should always be your e-collar. So if she's not responding, I give a tap. If she's not responding to the tap and she seems confused, then I use a leash to guide her there. But again, so let's say I'm here, and I say, place. So she goes. If she doesn't go, and I'm tapping, so right here she hops off, give her a tap, there we go. If she's not going, I start tapping, tap, tap. I start tapping. If she's kind of moving around here, I use the leash, but I try to keep this distance and use a leash like this. Don't try to drag her here, because then that defeats the purpose of her doing it herself and letting the econ do all the work. So break. Now we are going to cover the stay command. So right now Pepper's in a break, but she's already in the sitting position. So if I wanted her to stay in that sitting position, I wouldn't say sit, I would have to use the word stay. If I'm in a heel and I come to stop and she's in an auto sit, that's not a sitting command, that's the sitting position of the heel command. So right now this is a break. If I were in a heel, so now this is not a sit, this is heel. So what we use is the command stay. So we'll wave the left hand, cue the word, pivot out with the right foot. So stay. And I have the leash like this, assuming Pepper's going to get out. If she were to get up, I'd pause, I'd keep the pressure up and then tap until she puts the butt down. If she were to turn, but her butt's still on the ground, we let that slide just because it goes away. Later on, it's just those first moments she's kind of putting all her focus on you, and she's just very aware of what's going to happen, what's going on next. But that hasn't happened with us. Shh. So heel, and heel can override stay or break or whatever next command you give. So do it again. Stay, pivot out the right foot, do a little walk around. The reason why that pivoting out the right foot is so important is because right foot is stay and then left foot is heel. If I was doing this with the left foot, Pepper would probably be confused because she's always seeing that left leg start with the heel command. So it just helps them tell the difference of what command is said in her body language. So when you practice this command, for us, when we practice the command, we will review the stay command and at a red light. So if we're doing a training walk and we approach a red light, right there we just practice stay. And then we continue on once it turns green. If we end up going to Menards or whatever, or PetSmart, and we're in those side aisles, approaching the main aisle, we'll do the stay, pivot out into the main aisle to make sure there's no traffic or any dogs, because there's a lot of dogs at Home Depot now, or PetSmart. And then once we see the coast is clear, we continue to heel from there. So that's how we've been practicing stay. For the owner, all those ways are good ways to practice stay. Another way would be if you're on a walk and then you give Pepper a break command and then she poops, you can just put her in a position of the heel again and then tell her to stay. Pick up the poop, throw it away, and continue with your walk. So that is a stay command. If she's laying down, she's in a down, but you didn't cue the word down, you would say stay for her to stay in that position as well. So it's whatever position she's in. Break. Shh. I'm going to go over to downs and sits. So for our downs, we started with like shoulder pressure. So if I touch her shoulder, she doesn't really do anything. But if I pair it with a tap, she goes down. So after a couple of sessions where we drilled that, we started adding the word down to it. So break. Down. No tapping or anything. If I see her struggling, I give a tap, see what she does. If she's still struggling, I can either give pressure on the shoulders or result to the leash and pull pressure down. She does have a prong collar on, so that would be a little difficult versus flat collar. And then, so I'll do that a few more times. Break. Down. So she's pretty quick to down. Break. Down. And then for your duration, again, start out the right foot. If she were to get up, pause, continue tapping until she results in the down. If she's having difficulty, then use that shoulder pressure or the leash just to guide her back into position, and then keep repeating until she starts to get the idea. But so far, she's gotten the idea to the point where if we have the long leash and we're extending the duration of the distance, if she were to get up and we tap, she would go back down. So for sits, it's similar to the auto sits. It's going to be leash pressure and pair it with a tap with the e-collar. So it'd be up and then tap, good, down. So as we keep repeating those, we just result to the sit, tap, good, break. So the sits are pretty simple. Down, and there's no tapping here. Sit. Now I'm going to go over the emergency sits and emergency downs. So, for practicing the down. If you, similar to like watching a movie or maybe you're going to a patio, you cue the word down, Pepper goes down, down. Pepper goes down, you step on the leash and you're eating your lunch or whatever time it is, and then you're stepping on the leash, so then you would feel Pepper get up, and then you can just simply tap. For home, you can, same scenario with placing the dog bed near you if you're watching a movie. Same thing, it's just she's laying down, she's not allowed to stand or sit. We don't recommend clients cueing the down command after place, so a lot of people will do place and then down, but then they forget that the dog is down. So then if the dog stands up or sits up, the owner won't care because they're still in place. So then the dog realizes, oh, I stood up when you said down, I moved when you said down. So then that will affect the training or like the meaning of down. But yeah, those are some ways to practice it. Heel. So for the emergency sits and emergency downs, I'm just going to do it while healing. The point of it is, in case of an emergency, if Pepper's far away across the street and you don't want her to cross, you would cue the word down and she should down where she's at. So when we're starting this, we want to get her comfortable with doing it in motion. So for the sits, what I'm going to do is turn and face her, and then tap and pair it with the leash going up. So that's how we taught it. So I'll show that right now. So it's going to be sit, and I keep moving. I'll do it one more time. Heel. Slow down. Sit. So as I say sit, I tap. heel. And then after a while, it'd just be sit. Good. Now, good tap. Good. Heel. So if she were to move, I would guide her back to that same position, keeping the pressure on. So sit, I tap. Good. So if I keep moving and then Pepper starts to follow, either I can take a step back in like the training and keep practicing, because then that's letting me know that she's not really ready for that. So I would keep practicing the facing her, leash pressure up and then tapping. If I know she has the concept and she just decides to break it, I continue tapping, tap, 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 and then I'm bringing her back to where she was and making her in that same position. So those are the sits. Heel. I'm going to go over the downs. Similar way to the sits, facing her and cueing the word. Down. Good. There was only one tap. So as you keep repeating that exercise, eventually, feel. Down. Tap, tap, tap. Lower number. Tap. Right here. Tap. Good. Repeat that again. Heel. Down. Good. So there, the number was a little too high, where she kind of panicked. Throughout the whole video, she didn't get that response when I tapped. So then I knew, okay, this is a too high of a number. I clarified for her that I needed her to go down. Good. Heel. Down. Tap. Good. Right here. I'm going to tap, 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 tap. Then almost there. I just bring her back to that same spot. And then with the long leash, what we do is we'll do the same thing, but then we can walk in a longer, straighter line that's more realistic to Pepper versus going in a circle. So that's the emergency downs and emergency sits. And we'll do the recall. Break. Hi, it's Enrique with Canine Perspective. Today we have Pepper on Daycare and Train. And part of the overview video will be covering the recall. So again, just it's going to be the Pepper calm, and then the tapping after, and then the backing up. We're not really using leash pressure anymore, just because that was the teaching part, and now it's just Pepper calm, tap, back up, and then if needed, we'll use the leash pressure. And we'll discuss other advances to the recall. But we'll just go over the basic part again, and then we'll go from there. So once they hear the word, Bree will drop the leash, and then I'll move back and then we'll see how it does. Pepper, come. Good. Here she passes. Tap. Good. Do a few more. Great. Pepper, come. Good. Break. So we're going to leash flat. Pepper, come. Good. So now we'll do recall off motion. Recalling motion. Break. So Bree's going to walk away with Pepper, and I'm going to call her before she gets to the end of the leash. So Pepper, come. Tap. Tap. Good. Good. Break. Want to lower my number? Pepper, come. Good. Tap, tap. Good. So we're going to tap. Break. Pepper, come. Good. Break. I'll do one more. Up. And now I'm going to do a side step exercise. So if I take one step to the right, attack. Maybe just short this one. Tap. Tap. Good. So when I do recall, and then we move from recall, the dog is technically supposed to still follow us. What I don't want to do is move forward, because then that's going to look like heel. This is just to get Pepper really attached to us. So yeah, we'll cap it here, heel, for the recall work. So yeah, that the walking and or in motion recall is the most realistic way, because when people call their dog, it's usually going to be when they're in motion. So if you have someone to practice with, that would be a good way to increase the reliability of the recall. Pepper has a crazy amount of squirrel drive. So definitely practicing with the squirrels, let her chase the squirrels, let her get into it, let her get lost into it, and then whenever you're ready, do the recall. But just do it like once, and then the next time maybe do it, maybe don't do it, the next time do it maybe like 2 or 3 times, and then just be inconsistent with it, but make the recall command consistent. So don't drill it out, but make the recall good if you're going to recall. The reason why you don't want to drill it out is because if you drill it out too much, then Pepper is going to have a hard time detaching herself away from you. So if you drill it out like we have right here, we're only doing this to teach. This is not really realistic. So, and her scroll drive is pretty high. So I don't even think you can shut that, completely shut that down. She's always going to have an interest in squirrels. So that's, for example, if you have her in a park and you want her to be free, but you keep drilling out the recall here and like every day at the park, Pepper's gonna have a hard time enjoying like a break command. So then if you randomize it, then she will see like, oh, I just gotta come when I'm called. If you let out too much, Pepper's just gonna be thinking, why go over here if I'm just gonna get called anyway? So, so those are some ways to practice using her drive to your advantage, or having another person. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The most important thing is to do the tap after the recall, or Pepper come tap, and then moving back.